Hai semua, ketemu lagi sama aku Diva. Dan di video kali ini aku itu pengen sharing terutama dari perspektif WNA ya. Suami aku ini kan kemarin habis masuk Indonesia pakai VISA E31A. Jadi di video ini aku tuh pengen supaya suami aku sharing gimana sih proses dari Pakistan sampai ke Indonesia menggunakan visa ini. Apa aja yang ditanyain, dokumen apa aja yang diminta di airport misalkan. Jadi kita coba langsung aja ngobrol sama suami aku. Dan di video ini disclaimer, suami aku akan pakai bahasa Inggris karena tujuannya itu supaya foreigners yang lagi nonton ini mungkin pengen tahu gimana prosesnya. Jadi lebih baik kita mau pakai bahasa Inggris aja ya. So please Jan, can you please share your experiences of how you came to Indonesia starting from Pakistan and then you did transit in Abu Dhabi, right? Abu Dhabi and then Jakarta. Like what was the process, what questions did they ask, what documents did they ask, so please share with them.
So hello guys, so I'm going to be speaking about what my wife has just pointed out, my experience from Pakistan to Indonesia. So as soon as you reach Pakistan and then you plan to come back to Indonesia, what you need to have in mind that first of all you apply for visa, and the most important requirement for that is first of all is your passport. So you need to have your passport of your citizenship which you send to your wife and she can apply on your behalf because she is your sponsor on the visa immigration website, Indonesian visa immigration website. And using your passport picture and nikah book, she applies as a sponsor, and along with that you also need around $22,000 as a requirement, which can be shown either in your account. In our case it was shown in my account, but there is also information available that it can be either shown in your account, $22,000, or your sponsor's account. So but in our case it was my account in which we showed this particular required amount to apply for E31A visa. Now when you submit all these documents, the visa that you get is E31A visa. And one of the questions that we were confused about, or we kept searching online, was when you have E31A visa, which is spouse visa in simple terms, whether you need a return ticket on it or not. We kept searching for it, and we actually do not need any return ticket. Although when you receive your visa in a couple of weeks, around 2 to 3 weeks depending on your case, if there are any irregularities, the time can be more. As soon as you receive your E31A visa and you go to the airport, you will see that you would be asked for a return ticket, but by
the airlines or the immigration or what?
Yeah, in my case, airline did not say anything to me. As soon as I went, they were just stamped and they signed everything, they let me go. But as soon as throughout this process of moving from airline to immigration officer, the immigration officer did try to stop me and interrogate me and asked me a couple of questions, and one of them was this, like whether you read, because whenever we travel anywhere we usually need a return ticket, but because you submitted all of your documents so that you can get your E31A visa.
And it's also not visa only, right? Stay permit too.
Yes.
2 years, which make it not make any sense for us to need return ticket after 2 years.
True. The reason we don't need a return ticket because the stay permit that you get with E31A visa when you apply on the immigration website, Indonesian immigration website, is for 2 years. So since it's valid for 2 years, you would be asked, interrogated, and maybe stopped by the immigration officer, but you can show them and tell them clearly. I also confirmed this from the Indonesian embassy in Pakistan, and they said, yeah, you don't need a return ticket because your reason to go to Indonesia is very, very strong. So as soon as the immigration officer or anybody asks you at the airport, just tell them that I have the stay permit for 2 years. The immigration told me that you don't need a return ticket because you have a strong reason to go into Indonesia because of your spouse visa, and you don't need a return ticket also because it's written on your visa that it's a multiple re-entry visa. So you can exit and enter in the country multiple times, and since it's clearly written on the visa, that is why you don't need a return ticket. And some other questions that would be asked by the immigration officer, or that could be asked, is your wife's passport. Okay, when did you get married? Where is your buku nikah? And where is your wife's passport? So you need to have all the documents which showcase your status, married status in Indonesia, and your own citizenship status in Pakistan. Your documents and also your wife's all personal documents should be in your hands as soon as you reach the airport, so that if anybody asks you anything, you can easily show them the proof, all the proofs that you have.
So then in Pakistan, at the airport they ask for your visa, they ask for your passport, of course your ticket, boarding pass, whatever. And then for my documents, they ask my passport, right?
Yes.
Passport only and buku nikah.
Yes, only passport and buku nikah.
Yeah. Luckily at that time you brought the original buku nikah, right?
Yes.
So you could just show them the original buku nikah. But for my passport, you give them the photocopy, right?
Yes.
Okay. The printed version.
Yeah, the printed versions were asked from me, and they submitted those printed versions of her passport and buku nikah as well. So you need to have one extra copy to be submitted there, and one copy for you to have so that you can show to everyone, whoever asks you on the way. And I would say if you have any video or picture from your marriage, it would be helpful. Maybe they put you on a standby, like just wait. They ask you to wait for aside, like they put you aside, the immigration officer put you aside and ask you to keep waiting, and they let other people keep going. So in this case, maybe if you have a picture or a video of the marriage when it was taking place, the whole ceremony when it took place, I think it could be also helpful to prove them that you are legally married in Indonesia and you are actually not faking anything.
Did they ask that?
They didn't actually ask this, but considering they were making me wait for a long time, and we had the ceremony, the wedding ceremony video, I think I would have taken this step as well.
Okay, so that was the process when you entered the airport in Pakistan, right?
Yes.
And then you went for transit in Abu Dhabi. Is there any documentation or nothing there?
Yeah, as soon as I moved from Pakistani airport to any transit airport that you may move, or in my case Abu Dhabi, there is no any problem. Once you exit from Pakistan, there is no any problem. In my case, there was no any problem at any other airport, any transit airport. The only time when I was interrogated a lot, I was asked to wait, I was asked to show them lots of evidence, is only at Pakistani airport.
So after that, now tell me please about the process when you reached Soekarno-Hatta, or the airport in Jakarta. What did the immigration, because you went to the immigration checkpoint, right? So what happened there, and then did they ask about documents or questions, please?
Yeah, so from the journey started from Pakistan and then transit in Abu Dhabi, and then now we moved to the final destination, which is Soekarno-Hatta International Airport. And then
that's a movie, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's also a movie, Final Destination, coming in May. So as soon as I reached at Soekarno Hatta International Airport, the first thing that happened was, okay, I kept walking because there was a long way. I kept walking and I saw auto gates in front of me. And with E31A visa, you do get eligible to use auto gate if your passport is electronic. If your passport is not electronic, you cannot use auto gate automatically. So because I was still a bit confused, so I kept trying to use auto gate, and there was nobody at the airport. Like, I could not see anybody. I had to wait, and I kept trying till somebody shows up. I kept trying for auto gate. I could not enter. I could not pass the gate. So then somebody showed up and they showed me that you need to go in the corner because that's where the immigration checkpoint is, and they'll help you out with manually going or passing the way. I went there and the guy asked me for the passport. I showed him the passport. The guy didn't ask me, but I just handed over my passport and nikah buku in his hands.
What about visa?
Also the visa. Yeah, the visa, the passport, and the nikah buku. And these are the most important documents that you need to carry all around so that you can automatically, whether they ask or not, you just hand over whenever they
Just
ask
in
you for
case,
documents. Yeah. So as soon as I handed over, he smiled and he was checking things, and I asked him like, yeah, because it's a E31A visa, I'm supposed to have multiple re-entry exit permit as well as my ITAS. Uh, ITAS, since I got married, like the stay permit. ITAS is the stay permit. Then he said okay. He kept pressing buttons in the keyboard. He kept searching for my details, and then he said, yeah, I have put your details in the system, and soon you will receive an email with your stay permit in Indonesia, which is ITAS. And then I just passed. He let me go, and then I met my wife.
Yay! Basically, the most requested, like demands questions and everything, for you was in the airport in Pakistan, right?
Yes.
But alhamdulillah, for other airports, even Indonesia, it was easy. You just had to hand over your documents, and they just put everything in, and it's
Yeah.
fine, right?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So that was all regarding this matter of his point of view entering Indonesia using E31A visa. So I hope this story, his experience, help you and give you some insight, especially for those who have foreigner spouse and have this visa and want them to come to Indonesia. And thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Hati-hati.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.